Hey, how's it going? It's Sofia Wren. I'm a writer, coach, and intuitive, and I'm a firm believer in expressing what you really think and believe and in being yourself. So I want to be here and talk to you about something that's been going on in my life and why I'm doing it. And it's kind of controversial. So I imagine that you might not have the same opinion of me as me, but I hope that you'll still respect that I'm a person with my own opinion and I'm feeling free to use the rights that I have under the Constitution as an individual to express that when so many people are afraid or they don't say anything or they just sit by and let everything run its course, which is fine if you want to do that, but I want to do my other thing. I want to do the powerful thing. So I studied political science when I was in college, and I have a bachelor's from Bryn Mawr College, which is very respected. And I imagined that I would be a diplomat one day, or I thought of many other things I could do. I really wanted to change the world. I really believe in a vision of having a world where we're all on an equal plane, equal footing, and we share resources with each other, where we're living in harmony, we're living in peace, and we're compassionate to other people so that other people don't need to go through pain or suffering. Even if we did it and we survived, it's not about that. It's about creating as much joy and happiness and prosperity together as we can. And I think that's the world that I want to live in. You might not think that this has anything to do with medical marijuana or legalizing marijuana, but I want to let you know that in Maryland, this is a very important issue right now. And on Thursday, we are going to have the second part of our legislative house. So we have the Senate and the House. The Senate has, for the second year in a row, passed a bill which will make it so that non-violent people who happen to be possessing some of this plant will not end up incarcerated or have to pay lawyers' fees or have to go to a very expensive program to avoid being locked up, to avoid have their freedom taken away, the freedom in which they were born away, which could affect their family, their work, possibilities for the rest of their life, and so many other detrimental things. There are also a lot of people out there with painful conditions, with chronic pain, with intestinal pain, and it makes me emotional to talk about it because I know a lot of people who are young, who are beautiful, and who have a lot of pain in their life, and it makes me really upset. Wow, I really didn't think I would get upset talking about this. It makes me really upset to that there are people that would not allow their doctors to say you can have this, or and in what world does it help anyone? Even if they had a problem with substance abuse at all, in what world does it help them to put them in a room and lock them up and ruin their future? I don't understand. I'm sorry. So 2 weeks ago I was invited to speak and testify about why I think that medical cannabis or marijuana should be available to people in Maryland through their doctor or medical provider. And I shared a very personal story of my own in which I had a intrauterine device procedure last year where I have a partner of several years now, and we decided that that would be a good, smart, wise thing for a young person to do who doesn't plan to have a child anytime soon and is with a single partner, and that's what we thought would be the best thing to do. I talked to many different people. I took 6 months to think about it. I talked to everyone I know, and I had the procedure, and they said, it's going to be uncomfortable. Here's some Advil. Here's some over-the-counter medication. Just take, actually they didn't provide it. They just said take it before you come. So I did. I did do that, and I got there, and I had, they hadn't told me that they switched practitioners on me, so I requested to have a woman, and, I'm sure he's very nice, but I was definitely more nervous than I would have been, because it was just like this random person that I didn't know, and I had a nurse hold my hand, and when they actually, dilated my cervix to give me the device, I let out a scream that made the nurse cringe, and she's like, I hate that sound, and all this stuff, and then I thought, that, okay, well, it's over now. But it wasn't over. I kind of had these, like, ripples of pain coursing through my body. And then they gave me some orange juice and some more over-the-counters after I paid and was waiting for someone to drive me because I knew I wasn't going to be able to drive after this. I was going to leave my car there. I was waiting for my friend, and I was on the couch just turning, like, there's no possible way for me to not be in pain. Like, I want to cry, but there's, like, not even the use in crying. I was so distraught because it's, like, inside of your body, and you can't do anything about it. And so I went outside to kind of, like, wait and walk around. I thought it would help, and I just, like, threw up in the bushes. It's not a proud moment, and they didn't have any medicine for me. They didn't have anything, and they didn't, it's not that they didn't care. It's that they didn't have the power to give me anything that would work. And I just think about all the women who, that's all they get is over-the-counter medication for any of their women's problems, and it's not right. It's really not right. And I'm really glad that when I was speaking my testimony that I didn't cry. And I almost did, because there are many women that were talking about their children who had epilepsy and who had, like, dozens of seizures every day. And there was a woman whose child had died because they couldn't get any medicine for the children. And it's been proven to be very effective. It's been proven to be very effective for epilepsy, for Crohn's disease, for cancer, definitely for menstrual cramps. It's like one of the oldest uses. But no one is going to give us this medicine if we don't tell people that we need it. And someone gave it to me after I had my IUD, and I was distraught for hours. Like, I couldn't leave my bed. I couldn't work for days, regardless. But at least I could sort of, like, feel a little bit of release in my core muscles and feel a little relaxed and just calm down so I wouldn't be so afraid. Because when you're in pain, you can't solve it. You feel so powerless. You feel so powerless. We are living in America, and we're supposed to be, like, the most democratic society in the world. And so many of us don't say anything, and we're afraid about what will happen. And I was, it's not fair that I could have gotten in trouble for having some medicine, or that the friend who gave it to me could have gotten in trouble. Like, how are people supposed to live happily if we're creating crimes that aren't even a crime? If we're punishing people for what? Then the government's paying for that person to be in jail? They could put someone in college for that amount of money. If you look at any article about the rate in which America is imprisoning people, we are the highest in the entire world. It is not a percentage, like, that is equal to any other country. Like, we can talk about this or that country not being fair. We need to look at ourselves. We need to look at who is in our jail and who is in our prisons and who is not getting medicine, and why won't we give it to them? If you have an opinion on this subject either way, please share it with your representative and legislative government. It doesn't matter where you are, who you are. It's worth it to use your voice. And I really believe that. And I think, in particular for this issue, as far as it goes for women, this is a women's issue. And that for too long, someone making the rules hasn't known what our pain is like. And so we have to tell them, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's something that people aren't talking about, and even if it's scary. Because it's the only way that something is going to change. And it's the only way that we can help other people to not go through the pain and suffering that we have been through. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm sorry I got emotional. I hate when people see me cry. And I'm usually not the kind of person that asks for any help or gets help, really, because I'm more of a helping other people person. But I'm really glad that someone was there for me. And I'm hoping that for every single person that is in pain and suffering in the country that I live in, or the state, or the county, or the city, that they can get some relief. I think that we owe it to them, because we're all connected, and one day we're gonna be in pain too. Thank you.